I want to share one question with you today that can end a lot of suffering and struggle for you and your life and your business. So welcome aboard. Welcome to another episode of #Winning Your Real Team, CEO and founder of Healthpreneur. We help health professionals and coaches build world-class coaching businesses that transform more lives. And one of the challenges of building a business, as you probably know, is living in the gap. So you're here, you want to be here, and trust me, I can relate to this, okay? Like we're always like never where we want to be. But one of the things that we have to recognize is that the entrepreneurial journey is one of the most important, or really one of the accelerants of spiritual growth. And I say that because you are faced with people and circumstances that will continually reveal to you areas of your life that are an opportunity for you to work on. So one of the things that happens as we grow our businesses, or as we try to grow our businesses, is we can deal with a lot of frustration, right? Things not working out the way we thought they would. You know, we set a goal for something, it doesn't happen. I can tell you first and foremost, I have set many, many goals and had grandiose plans for many things that didn't pan out in the slightest. One of my first launches, I told everyone it was going to be the biggest online fitness launch back in 2009. It was a flop. We ended up doing less than $5,000. I spent 1,000 hours developing a nutrition course that no one wanted. I can go on and on and on, okay? So, I mean, all of these things over the years can lead to frustration, disappointment, etc. But one of my favorite quotes of all time is by Winston Churchill, where he says, success is going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. And I think it's such a great quote that puts a bow around what entrepreneurship is. However, there's nonetheless on a daily basis, there are situations that occur, right? But here's the thing I want you to understand is how you interpret those circumstances or those situations determines how you feel on a day-to-day basis. And one of the first questions, every single coaching call I start, the first question I ask is, what's been a win? What's good in the hood? And I ask that question every single time because it's really important to shift our focus on what's working well. Because most of us, and it's very surprising, have a very hard time thinking about even one win over the past week. And I'm like, I'm going to force you to continually shift your focus onto the good because you're not focused on it, right? You're coming to a coaching call for feedback on something that usually is not working well. So here's the question I want you to think about and write this down and ask yourself on a continual basis is, can I be with this? Can I just be with this? It's a great question because what happens is we find ourselves in a situation that we're not crazy about. And we want it to be different. So we're forcing things to be like, why couldn't it be this way? It should be this way, like blah, 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 blah. And we're creating resistance. And that resistance is how we feel like shit. Like we feel like shit. And that's resistance because we're trying to force something in an area that we can't really control. For instance, if I'm sitting in traffic, as you may or may not know, I'm not the most patient person. So if I'm sitting in traffic, my default setting is like, I'll literally go drive on the shoulder. Like I don't do that obviously, but that's what I'm thinking. Like maybe I can drive on the shoulder and just go. But I have to catch myself. And I recognize, well, number one, I can't change the situation, right? Like I don't have a helicopter, so I can't turn my car into a helicopter. I'm sitting in gridlock and there's one of two things that can happen. I can feel stressed and shitty about the situation. Why is there traffic? People shouldn't be slowing down. I can play that game, but it's not serving me. Or I can ask myself, can I just be with this? Yeah, I can probably just be with this. And this question is a really good question to prompt acceptance. Acceptance is one of the gateways to feeling better, feeling more peace, and as a result, allowing more abundance into your life. And I share this because in business, a lot of things are not going to go the way you want them to. Whether you're dealing with team members or clients or tech or things, there are going to be things that are going to happen. And the more you grow your business, the more you will deal with these things. And what I've noticed, and obviously for myself first and foremost, is early on in your business journey, everything is a meltdown. Oh my God, it's the end of the world. The link didn't work. Your tech isn't set up properly. Somebody said no to you. Somebody left a negative comment on one of your posts or your ads. It's the end of the world. And that's fine, but I want to give you this shortcut to help you like transmute that, because the reality is not the end of the world. It's not, as I've said before, it's life-threatening or it's simply ego-threatening. And it's really not that big of a deal, right? So can I just be with this? Someone leaves a negative comment on your ad. Cool. I'm not going to change that other than the fact that I can delete the comment. Can I just be with this? Can I be with the fact that I set a goal for something and it didn't happen? Someone promised something and they didn't deliver on it. Okay, obviously it's not ideal, but I can't change the past. The problem is that so many of us are living in the past and we're dragging all of this shit into the future. And it's like, dude, you can't change the past. The past is done. But are you done with your past? Because if you're not going to be able to create the future you want. So accepting what is allows you to create a clean slate for what you want to build. But the more we try to force something to change that's not possible to change, we're not going to be able to have space to create what we want. So if a team member leaves, you can't change that. It's done. It's over. There's no point in mulling over it. If a client wants to leave your coaching program early, you can have a conversation with them, but let's say they leave. It is what it is. Can you be with it? Like, you're not going to change the fact that they left. What could you do? Maybe have an exit interview, figure out what you could have done better, etc. So the next time, or for the next group of clients, you can do a better job. But at the same time, like, you can't live in like, well, it should have been different. I wish this would have happened. Like, can you just be with this? Can you just let it go? Because if you let it go, you will grow. But if you don't, you will continually come up against the same circumstances and the same situations because you're not learning the lesson. And until we learn the lesson, we can't move beyond. Think of it like a video game. You can't get beyond level 1 until you've figured out how to beat level 1. Right? So it's like life is just like it just keeps sending you level 1, like problems, right? Here's an enemy with a specific tool. If I can't learn how to beat this guy, then I'm not getting to level 2. So in life, let's just call it in business, maybe your level 1 lesson is learning how to deal with someone who challenges your credibility in a discovery call. So unless you learn how to deal with that, you'll continually stay at level 1 and deal with that over and over again until you know how to surpass it. Once you do, you can move to level 2. And guess what's going to happen at level 2? You're going to have new challenges and new things that are going to happen. Okay? But again, it's like we can learn the lesson, but we can't change the situation. So the question is, can I just be with this? Because if I can be with this, then I can accept it. And if I can accept it, I can just move on, right? Obviously, this applies to so many areas of life, right? If you have someone who's passed away in your life, yes, it's sad, but you can't change the facts. You can't bring them back from the dead, right? It's like, accept it and move on, right? Just give gratitude for all the time you had with them, and obviously, like, just relish those memories, whatever. But you can't change what happens. All we can do is accept the fact that it happens and we move forward. So I wanted to share this with you because entrepreneurship can feel very hard. And it's hard, it can be hard because of our own self-imposed beliefs on the journey. And I was sharing this with a client the other day, and I said, listen, like, the goal is to become almost like ambivalently neutral. So whether something quote unquote bad happens or something quote unquote good happens, it's the same. I was sharing a win in a mastermind I'm a part of. I said, listen, we parted ways with 3 people and decided not to hire someone else who could have been a tremendous fit, but we realized wasn't. So essentially 4 people gone in 2 weeks. And I'm like celebrating this as a win. Some people are like, oh my God, this would have been terrible and this puts us back. I'm like, the way I look at this, it's not everything's a win. Everything is a win. If I'm sitting in traffic and I'm asking myself, can I just be with this? How does that turn into a win? It turns into a win because I get to practice and build my patience muscle. Maybe I can just take a breath and look around. Like, oh my God, like what a beautiful sunny day it is. Or if it's raining, just appreciate it. So we can always find the gold in any situation, but so often we're focused on the dirt. So my encouragement to you today is this. Just ask yourself, write the question down, can I be with this? Learn how to accept the situation, learn how to shift your focus to the positive, and you're going to feel so much better on a day-to-day basis. And the better you feel, the faster you're going to go. There are 3 movies that will dictate the quality of your life. In this video, we're going to look at what they are and how you can choose the right one for you.